everyone, and welcome to today's special author conversation. I am Navya from White Falcon Publishing, and it's truly a pleasure to have you all with us. And today we are talking about a very inspiring book called Rise, Fight, Repeat. This book is not just about marketing or business strategies, it's about life, struggles, growth, and finding your purpose. And we are honored to be joined by Abhinav Sharma, a seasonal pharmaceutical marketing professional with over 18 years of experience. He has worked on building brands, leading teams, and creating real impact in the industry. His journey from facing challenges in life to becoming a successful professional is truly inspiring. And this book shares those real experiences in a very honest way. Before we begin, author Abhinav Sharma, I would really like you to introduce yourself and to say something about your book. Please, sir.
Right. Thank you, Navya, and thank you so much for saying such a kind and good words about me. And thank you, Team White Falcon, for giving me this opportunity to share my work with the people and publish my book. So, to start with my introduction, I'm a marketer by profession. I cannot say that I'm into marketing since last so many years, but it's been almost 20 years now. And while writing Rise, Fight, Repeat, the whole objective is to share my experience, the journey that I have lived in these 20 years, and the kind of work I have done in pharma marketing, and maybe in some the industries where I worked, and the large brands that I handled in my overall career. So the whole objective is to share this work with the aspiring and the new brand managers who are entering into marketing, so that they can learn from my journey that this is like a dossier and this is like something like do's and don'ts in marketing, so that they can have a smooth and fruitful journey in their career.
Okay, thank you so much for introducing. And so now we are moving on with the questions. And my first question from you is, so sir, like your journey is both inspiring and deeply personal, a beautiful blend of professional growth with life experiences. So could you tell us what inspired you to write Rise, Fight, Repeat,
Rise,
and
fight.
page of your life?
Say, Navya, if I have to tell that the inspiration behind Rise, Fight, Repeat, it is like something, it is not my story. It is not like that only I have gone through this story and this journey. This is the journey of every individual who is working anywhere in their profession. But very few people are being able to share their experience, their struggles, their challenges. So while working on this project, see, it's been almost 4 5 years before publishing this book that I have realized that I should share this experience with the people. I realized that yes, there is something different that I have gone through, my personal struggles, my challenges in life. And overall, if you see my journey from my childhood till now so far, that has inspired me as a person that I should share this experience with the people. The kind of, if I talk about myself that I'm into the marketing or maybe in sales or I'm creating brands, right? So whenever you are working anywhere or whenever you are creating any brand, it starts with your own journey and your own story. So the whole objective is to bring that story to the.
Okay, that's perfect. Moving on to the next question. So the book feels really raw and honest, almost like a conversation rather than a lecture. So what influenced your writing style? I mean, the decision to keep it so real and experience driven. So what inspired you to write in such a simple and real way?
Okay. So, if I have to talk about my writing style, yes, you are absolutely correct. That is more like a conversational because the when I was writing this book, first I noted down in the content, entire experience that I have lived through. That what are my experiences, what are my challenges, what are my achievements. So I wanted to keep it more like the person to whom I'm sharing these experiences, or the person who are reading this book. They can go through my own journey, so that is why I wanted to keep the entire content of the book as a conversation, or maybe the person is in discussion with me, or I'm sharing my thoughts and my views with the reader. So I have gone through many books before writing this book, but most of the books that I've gone through, they are full of examples taken from some other world, or they are like the example taken from athletes, which is very good. That inspires people, but I wanted to make this original authentic, and I wanted to share my own experience with the people. So that is the reason I kept this book as like a conversation between me and the reader, so that the interest can be maintained throughout the reading experience.
Yeah, it's great. So it's like you take all the experience from by reading
Yeah.
another books, you took the exposure and then you worked on your own book. So that's
Yes, yes.
really great.
Like I'm sharing, having a discussion with the reader. It's like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, so moving on to the next question. So you have highlighted that pharma marketing is more about listening than speaking. So can you share how this philosophy shaped the core message of your book? Can you explain this idea in a simple way for our audience?
Okay, now this is a very interesting question, and it is more like the experience that I had while having a discussion with the people. This listening is divided into three parts. Listening to your own team members, your company, or maybe your workplace. Listening to your customers, that is to whom you are selling your product, and listening to the end users, that is who are going to use your products, right? The
Yeah,
people who are going to be benefited. And in my case, these are the patients. So why I said that it is more about listening, because most of the times when you see in the company or maybe the young marketeers, they come from good B schools, they have done their MBA, and they have gone through many real world examples, and the strategy being done by many other big companies, and they try to implement those strategy, those marketing style into their current brand, which is not the case, right? What is more important here is to have the discussion with your customer. You need to understand what is their exact requirement, and more, what is more important, the end user, the patient who are going to be benefited out of your product. You
yeah,
should know more about what is their requirement, whether they want this packaging, whether they want this compliance, what should be their overall experience, right? So
yeah,
it is not like that we are selling only medicine in my case. Maybe for every marketer out there, please go, do your field work, do your groundwork, listen to your customer, have their experiences, then only come back and work on this strategy. So that was the whole idea while writing, that I should share this experience with the reader, that this, we are working on that, and they should feel that okay, the writer or the author is having the empathy with the my personal experience and my requirement. So that is the whole reason that I mentioned this in my book, as well as this is the whole theme of this book.
okay. Yeah, I also agree that listening is important because we are not selling what we want to sell. We always sell what the people need, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
hope I am explaining it right. Okay, so
yes, yes, you're absolutely correct. Yeah.
yeah, so okay, moving on to the next question. So many people want to grow in their careers, but they don't know how to do it. So through your book, how can someone learn to become a leader?
Okay, that's a really tough one. But what I'll say, if you want to grow in your career, you should always have back in your mind that do not attach yourself with the positions, right? That after 3 years, I want to be maybe a product manager or marketing head, maybe vice president or a CEO down the line after 10, 15 years in my career. If you attach yourself with the designations, with the position, you will end up with the stress. You will end up with the overall, like, why I'm not being able to achieve that position, right? But I want people to know that rather than attaching yourself with the position, you should attach yourself with your work. The kind of work you are doing, that how this work is going to be beneficial for the society, for the people, whether I am doing the right work, whether I am doing the wrong work. Because if you see in the last part of my book, I mentioned everything about the young marketeers, that they should have some like back of their mind, that what is more important here, that what value addition I have done to the life of my patient, what value addition I have done to my team member, what value addition I have done to my customers. That should be there in back of your mind. And if you have that in your mind, if you do your work honestly, success is going to follow you. So
Yeah.
rather than following the success, having the stress in your mind, okay, I'm having 3 years of experience, I should be that, or like this in my career. Rather than focusing there, you should focus more on your work. And you yourself is a leader. Nobody has to give you the tag of leader. That if someone gives you the tag that you are a leader now, That doesn't mean you have become leader after getting that time. You're already a leader. You have gone through so many challenges in your life. You have gone through so many good things, bad things, and learnings in your life that make you who you are exactly today. So my whole objective that people should focus on getting the experience throughout their journey rather than getting the stress what I'm becoming after that journey.
Yeah, so it's all about
Right?
skills and hard
Yeah.
work rather than a tag, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So the next question. So your story moves from breaking childhood illness to becoming a product leader, which is quite powerful. And how did your personal life experiences shape your work and thinking?
Okay, that's an interesting one, Navya. My whole book is my journey from childhood to who I have become till now so far in my career. So the whole idea came from my personal experience that during my childhood days, I was always surrounded by the doctors because of my the illness that I mentioned in the book, which I overcome in my teenage. So that really fascinated me about the field of medical. That how doctor works, right? So rather than becoming a doctor, I thought, why not becoming someone who can bring the experience and bring something different or bring something new to the society, which will help the patient as well as to the doctors. There will be help. So I decided to enter into the brand management. I've shared my that story as well. Entering into brand management was not pre-decided because I was not even aware what exactly is the brand management in my young age. But I wanted to do something that they should have experience of like that they are doing something good towards their patients, right? So the whole objective this book came derived from my personal experience, my childhood illness, then how I overcome my personal challenges, then how the entire this like situation has been created that after completing my post graduation in life science, that is biotechnology. I always wanted to enter into the research at that time, but somehow uh, that was there in back of my mind, that my personal experience that has created the surrounding that willingly or unwillingly I entered into the brand management. So
Okay.
this is how that I lived my personal experience also, and I try to do something good that will be beneficial for the society and for the patient as well.
Okay,
So
okay.
it is all through my childhood experience, my journey all through in last those years when I was into the hospital, getting surrounded by the doctors, nurses, and that aura has been created since childhood. That has impacted when I was entering into my college, then completed my college and entered into the marketing.
Okay, it's just it's all our experiences that shape us as a human being and our work and profession as well. So yeah, I could totally relate to it. Thank you for such a meaningful answer. So we are moving on with another question. So, like writing a book alongside a demanding career is never easy. So, was there a moment during writing the whole book when you almost felt like giving up? And what kept you going while writing it?
Yes, there was a moment, and that was a moment. Situation for most of the people, including me and my friends, my colleagues, that was the COVID wave hit, right?
Yeah.
So, like everyone else, I was into the almost I have completed my 60-70% of my book in 2019 and 2000 end of 2018 when we all had the experience of COVID and many of us lost our loved ones, and it was more
Yeah.
like that. What is next now?
Yeah.
How we are going to revive? So at that time, rather than focusing on the book, rather than focusing on our job, the prime objective how we are going to survive
Survive.
and how
Yeah.
we are going to overcome these challenges. And during that time, rather than meeting our people personally, we used to be connected digitally or maybe through telephone. That how is your health now? Everything okay? in your surrounding. So that was the time that was really a tough time, and I've completed almost 60% of my work. I thought that let's not get into it. I Because I was not aware whether I'm going to survive. I had the COVID infection 3 times myself, and I was into the critical situation. So at that time, I was not aware whether I'll be able to survive or not. But when I survived, I mentioned that part also in Rise Fight Repeat, that how you fight your odds, how you fight your challenges, and how you overcome them, and how you can do it repeatedly so
Yeah.
that you become more sustainable and more valuable, right? So once we have gone through and that COVID wave is completed, after that I have completed almost 40% part of my.
Okay. Yeah, we all faced a lot of, we struggled a lot in that COVID time. Everybody, faced a lot of things. People
Hmm.
lose a lot of, close family members. So that was a tough time. But it's good that you also overcome it and then you completed your work. So it's great. It's good to hear. Moving on to the next question. So every book has that one section that challenges the writer the most, emotionally or intellectually. So which chapter was the most difficult for you to write and why?
Okay. Although every chapter is like my own experience, but one chapter which is really close to me when I was that was a transition phase of my life, personally as well as professionally.
Okay.
I was getting a transfer from North, that is from Delhi NCR, and got a new opportunity based in Ahmedabad, that is part of Gujarat. So
Okay.
that was the time when I shifted from. There was a cultural shift. The entire culture was entirely different to me. That was the shift in my career because I was taking the new responsibility at a larger in a larger group with a more responsibilities, and that was the time when I was about to get married to
Okay.
my life partner. So that was a complete transition. That was my cultural transition, that was my career transition, and that was my personal transition.
Personal
So that
transition.
chapter is really emotional and close to me. And not only this, because we were working on something very different in my workplace also. We were bringing entirely new experience to the customer. We were working in the women healthcare business, and that was entirely a new experience for me. We were working till late night. We were working till almost 2 a.m. at night, 3 a.m. coming back to office in 9:30 a.m. in the morning, then again starting with the customer experience journey. What is their requirement, what exactly they want, whether we are working on the right products or not. So that chapter really helped me to learn more about the customer experience, the requirement of the end users, and that was also making me strong personally as well, because I was getting a transition from unmarried to a married at that time. So
Yeah.
that chapter is really, really challenging yet very emotional and very close to me.
Okay. So, while experiencing your life, you were writing that book and then you kept on adding everything that was happening there. So it was all, it was like everybody will going to read about your life, about your experience that was happening. So
I
I,
wish, I
it's a
wish.
good experience reading your work. So yeah, okay. Moving on to the next question. So today everything is changing very fast, especially with digital growth. So how do you personally adapt and reinvent yourself, and how is that reflected in your book?
Okay. See, I always believe that as the time changes, your techniques must change too, right?
Yeah.
You should not left out. We all know the case study of smartphones, that how they have evolved, that the companies who never adapted themselves as per the requirement of the user, they left out. The company who adopted the new technology, how they bloomed and how they are rising. Same goes with the pharma marketing as well. See, in pharma marketing, it is very different as compared to the FMCG marketing, right? Here you have to deal with a customer who's already knowledgeable. You are going to meet the doctors who
Yeah.
are like a god to the patient, right? So what is more important, that you should bring the authentic information. That is number one. The information should be backed by the science or by the researches, or maybe some real world experiences. And third, most important, it should be backed by the technology, right? as rightly said by you, now the world is moving towards digitalization.
Yeah.
Same is happening in pharma as well, right? Previously, the people used to have the personal interaction in the doctor chamber. Now they're sending the important information digitally. They are creating the overall digital personal experience with the customer so that they can understand more about the product, they can understand more about the disease, right?
Yes, yes.
So it is really important that with the changing world, you should also change your technique of interacting with the customer. And that I have mentioned in my book, maybe in my sixth or seventh chapter, I mentioned that how the technology is important and how it is bringing the difference into the life of your customer as well as to your end user.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's something I think that we all need to do. We need to update ourselves with the ongoing world, with so much changes around ourselves. So yeah, that's something very much needed. Okay, we are moving on to the next question, and this is the last and the most important question. So, for someone picking up your book for the first time, expectations matter, right? So, what is the one message from your book that you hope every reader walks away with after finishing your book?
Okay, one message to my readers: the experience that they gain from this book, right?
Yeah, what message you want them to
Walking
take?
away with one experience.
Yeah, one message that you want the readers to take away from.
Mm, okay, so one message for my readers that you have so much potential in yourself, right? And don't uh, just don't give up on your dreams. Just don't give up on your achievements based on your current challenges. Once you overcome these challenges, there will be a different uh, day, there will be a different morning, there will be a different you who have walked through the challenges, and you can proudly say that yes, I have become something during this journey that I was never before. So my one message is the title of my book, that rise, fight, repeat. Every time you face any challenge, rise above your fear, fight, and every time repeat. That will give you the strength of becoming a very different and the best version of yourself. So that is the message to my readers.
That's such a wonderful message. I mean, we all need it almost sometimes. I think we all need it every single day that we need to, pace up with the world. We need to be motivated because every day there is a new challenge, right? So
Yes,
I
yes,
personally
yes,
feel
yes.
that this book is really going to help a lot of people who are facing difficulties either in their career or personal life. So it is going to be really good experience for every reader. So that brings us to the end of this insightful and inspiring conversation. And thank you so
Right.
much, author Abhinav Sharma, for sharing your journey, your experiences, and the powerful lessons behind Rise, Fight, Repeat. It's truly been a pleasure having you with us today. To our viewers, if you are someone who believes in growth, resilience, and building something meaningful, this is a book you shouldn't miss. So do grab your copy, read it, reflect on it, and share your thoughts with other people. So until next time, this is Navya from White Falcon Publishing. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much, sir, for this conversation. Hope to
Thank you,
see
Navya.
you
Thank you
again
so
with
much.
Hope to see you again with your another book.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Thank you, Navya, and thank you,
Thank you,
Team White
sir.
Feather. Wishing you
Thank
all the best. Thank you,
Same to you,
everyone.
sir. Thank you.